Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be talking about China's stealth fighter
Oh,
programs.
awesome.
And specifically, we've got a couple Wikipedia articles here on the J-35 and the J-36.
Yeah.
And, I think the J-36 is the one that's really got everyone buzzing right now.
Oh, yeah. It's so interesting how they managed to keep this tri-jet design completely under wraps.
Right.
Like, no one really saw it coming.
It seems like it came out of nowhere.
Just suddenly photos online and this kind of almost like a stealth boomerang, some people are saying,
Yeah.
which is kind of a cool nickname.
It does make you wonder if they're trying to, send a message or something with this radical design.
Yeah, definitely.
But before we get too far down the rabbit hole of the J-36, let's rewind a little bit and talk about the J-35 because its story actually begins with the FC-31,
Right.
which was initially designed for export.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating how that FC-31 evolved. The Shenyang Aircraft Corporation, they're the ones who built it, and they actually lost the bid for the J-20 to Chengdu.
Right.
But they saw the potential in this design, and they just kept refining it.
Interesting.
So they went through, multiple revisions, and you can even see it like just looking at the canopy.
Oh, really?
On the early prototypes, it was like a two-piece canopy, and then they switched over to this sleek single-piece design.
Okay, so why is that significant? I mean, aside from looking cool, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, well, a single piece canopy gives the pilot, better visibility, which is obviously huge in a combat situation.
Right.
But it also kind of hints that, Shenyang was really incorporating all these advancements in like materials and manufacturing.
Interesting.
So a single piece canopy, it can actually be stronger.
Oh, wow.
And it can actually contribute to the aircraft's stealth capabilities because you have less of those radar reflections.
Oh.
So it's a small detail, but it kind of shows, their commitment to refining this design for both performance and for stealth.
So they were really thinking ahead, even when it was, just an export hopeful.
Exactly. And then the PLA Navy, they kind of stepped in.
Oh.
They were looking for a new fighter for their growing carrier fleet, and they saw the potential in this FC-31.
Oh, wow.
So that was really the turning point in its development, and it kind of led to this creation of the carrier-based J-35.
And this is where we start to see the features that are specifically for carrier operations, right? Like
Yeah.
it's got the catapult launch bar for those powerful takeoffs.
Right.
And then the folding wings so it can, fit on the deck and conserve space.
Right.
And they've even been doing mock-up tests on the Liaoning, one of their older carriers.
It's really smart. I think it shows they're not just building this J-35 for their newest Type 003 carrier. They're thinking about, flexibility.
Makes sense.
Being able to operate from different carriers gives them a lot more strategic options.
Absolutely. Now, alongside the carrier-based J-35, we also have the land-based J-35A, which just debuted this year.
And of course, it has some visual distinctions from its, naval sibling.
It does, yeah. So the J-35A has a single nose wheel instead of the double one that you see on the carrier version.
Okay.
And the wings are fixed, obviously. It doesn't need to fold them to fit on a carrier deck.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So in a way, the J-35 program kind of reflects China's growing ambitions, both, on land and at sea.
Right.
But let's pivot back to that stealthy boomerang you were talking about, the J-36, because that sudden appearance back in December really kind of, sent shockwaves through the defense community.
It did, yeah. No one saw this coming, I don't think.
Yeah.
It just kind of appeared in test flights and, photos started popping up online.
Wow.
And the fact that China has been completely silent about it just adds to the intrigue,
It does. So, analysts are tentatively calling it the J-36 based on its serial number, but beyond that, we're really just in speculation territory.
Totally. And even the speculation is fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this tri-jet, tailless, flying wing design.
Yeah.
I mean, unlike anything else in the world right now.
Right.
China's clearly pushing the boundaries with this one.
I mean, isn't it a little unusual for a country that's, known for, let's say, borrowing designs,
Right.
to suddenly go so radical?
But that's what makes it so intriguing, right?
Yeah.
It challenges that assumption that they're simply copying other countries' technology.
Right.
This suggests like a level of innovation and willingness to take risks that we haven't really seen before.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then to make things even more curious, during those test flights, the J-36 was actually followed by a J-20S,
Right.
which is the two-seater version of their other stealth fighter.
Yeah. It's hard to say for sure what that means.
Yeah.
Are they testing some kind of operational pairing?
Right.
Was the J-20S gathering data on the J-36's performance? I mean, we just don't have enough information yet.
Well, it definitely raises questions about, how these two stealth fighters might work together.
For sure.
And, it also makes you think about the timing of the J-36's debut.
Because it coincided with Mao Zedong's birthday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it was